person walks out of your life, all is well. This person doesn't give you the promotion, all is well. This person over here stopped loving you, all is well. This person over here doesn't want to be your friend anymore, all is well. God removes things from your life, and sometimes he doesn't explain things to you with respect to why he removes certain things. Your mindset has to be all is well because nothing belongs to you. How can your life not be what it's supposed to be and nothing belongs to you? So how can everything not be well when nothing actually belongs to you? What belongs to you? Tell me one thing. You don't even belong to you. So what belongs to you? So what would you have to be upset about? That's the part that throws me every time. Like, what are we upset about? All is well. I'm telling you right now, that's the most powerful mindset in human history. Every spiritual master, every spiritual teacher will tell you that. If they're all unanimous on that. Because the moment that you think that it's not, suffering begins immediately. The moment that you think that it's not, you block happiness's presence in your life. The moment that you think that it's not, you block love's presence in your life. You block yourself from experiencing all of the most amazing feelings, all because of that one mindset. That part right there. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. What's up, Destiny? So good to see you. All right. So all is well. Everything is in a mess and all is well. The mess is only in your mind. It's not in reality. The problems are only in your mind. Not in reality. Reality doesn't have the power to produce your unhappiness. It doesn't have the power to produce your depression. It doesn't have the power to produce your sadness. It doesn't have the power to produce your anger. Nothing is producing that except for you. That's why self-mastery is so important, because once you master self, you've mastered life. There's nothing else to master. Nothing. Self-mastery is so important, but that's the thing about it. People didn't want to teach you that. And the reason why they didn't want to teach you that is because they benefit off you lacking self-awareness. And if you don't see that right now, you got two problems. If you don't see that right now, you have two whole problems. There are entire businesses that have been created from you being asleep. There are entire businesses that have been created. I'm talking about billion, if not $1 trillion industries that have been created because you don't know who you are, because you don't know what you are, because they bank on you not knowing who you are, so that you have to go to them so that they can put you on some medication, so that they can send you to the therapist. That's a whole industry. So they can put you on the medication. That's a whole industry. So they can send you to the psychiatrist. That's a whole industry. And so they can teach you how to live with your problem. Let us just teach you how. We're not going to solve the problem, but we'll teach you how to live with it. Never realizing that you were the answer the entire time. You were the cure the entire time. The cure, you went looking for the cure. You went looking for the solution. And the moment you got in the car, you were already lost. The moment you started the car, you was in trouble in that moment. I don't give a damn whether you put the car in park or not. The moment that you stepped outside of yourself to go and look for a solution or go and look for an answer, you were already lost. You are the answer. And you're not just the answer for you. You're the answer for every single person that you come in contact with. But you won't understand that until you are awakened. You won't understand that. I'm speaking a foreign language to you right now. I appreciate that. Like I said, there's whole industries that have been created that benefit from you not knowing how powerful you are, from you being asleep, from you not being spiritually awakened. They are preying on you to never wake up. Why? Because there's so many industries that are going to be eradicated the moment that self-awareness becomes a global thing. Right now, you have pockets of people that are waking up here and waking up there and waking up here and there. But the point not to be missed is that once it becomes a real thing, once it catches fire, just look at all of the different industries that will instantly be put out of business. Look at how many businesses Amazon by itself put out of business. Hundreds of businesses failed the day that Amazon arrived. They put bookstores out of businesses. They put brick and mortars out of businesses. They put all of these other companies out of business because you could go to Amazon to get everything you want, and you were going to get it faster and cheaper. Self-awareness is no different. It's the Amazon for your life. You won't need anything outside of you the moment that you are spiritually awakened. Nothing. You become walking, talking medicine. Person sits down with you, walk away, feeling lighter, feeling cured, healed, all of these things. Come on, man, you got to wake up. You've been programmed and conditioned to chase people and chase this. You've been chasing your whole life. And every time you chase something, you're running away from yourself. Whatever you're chasing only means that you're running away from you. No, you run to you. And when you run to you, everything else wants to run to you. When you run away from you, then you're running away from yourself. Baddest thing on the planet is you. There's just people that don't want you to know that. And the problem is that you don't really believe that. You want to believe it. That's why you got the little affirmations and you say little things and you follow certain people on social media. You want to believe it, but deep down in your heart, you don't really believe it. And the reason why you don't believe it is because you're still dealing with your trauma, and your trauma is impacting your self-concept. And your self-concept impacts the way you see yourself. It impacts how much you love yourself. It impacts how much you believe in yourself. So your trauma is that trickling effect. It's that thing that's igniting everything that's happening in you. That's why the most important thing in the world is just for you to become healed. See, you hear that all the time on social media. You'll hear that. You'll hear people say, oh, you need to heal, you need to heal, you need to heal, you need to heal, you need to heal. That's what people are telling you. You don't need to heal. You need to wake up. I said, you don't need to heal. You need to wake up. When you wake up, the healing happens immediately. But as long as you think you need to heal, that means that you're broken. That means that you think that there's something broken in you. There's nothing broken in you. You just don't understand you. You don't understand what's happening. There's information that you are lacking. And anytime that your brain doesn't have the information that it needs, it starts to fill in the gaps with what it thinks you mean. And then you end up somewhere that you shouldn't be. And now you create a belief system around that. And then that produces a whole different set of experiences that you never should have had in the first place. The moment that you understand you don't need to heal. Heal from what? You're just identifying with something that you're not. And we talked about this last night on the live, but you guys wouldn't understand that right now. You guys won't understand that right now, so I won't even go there. What I will say to you is everything is fine. You just need to wake up. And when you wake up and when you have your spiritual awakening, you'll understand that there was nothing to heal from. You just don't understand that right now. That's the only problem you got. The only problem you have. Yeah, Destiny. Last night's live was powerful with respect to just you understanding the difference between the I and the me. Some of you guys don't understand the difference between the I and the me, and all of your suffering is coming from that. It's not coming from anywhere else. It's just coming from you not understanding the difference between the I and the me. That's it. That's all. The only problem you have. You got one problem in your life, and the fact that you don't understand the difference between your I and your me. That's it. The only problem you have. You have no other problems. I can promise you that. How do you know if you wake up? You're saying, how do you know when you're awakened? How will you know? I don't know if that's the question. I apologize. I'll tell you how. The number one indicator, there's only one. The number one indicator that you are not awakened, the number one indicator that you're still asleep is that you're suffering. If you are suffering in any capacity of your life, you are not awakened. Suffering is a sign that is given to you to let you know when you're asleep. Suffering is a sign that is given to you to let you know when you are out of touch with the truth, when you are out of touch with God, when you are disconnected from Him, when you are disconnected from your highest and best self. So you sit with yourself and you be honest with yourself. If you are suffering in any capacity, you are still asleep. You are not awakened yet. Why? Because you're still operating out of lower mind. You're still operating out of your programming and conditioning. You're still identifying as your me. You're still identifying as your wounds or as your trauma or as your past negative experiences. Because think about what I'm saying. Let me qualify what I'm saying. Think about what I'm saying. You are the divine in human form. You are the human manifestation of the divine. You are the divine personified, but you haven't waken up to that yet. So you're still operating out of your physical body. You're still identifying with that. You're still identifying with everything that's happening with your circumstances and the people in your life and all of these other things. These are all things that lower mind created. These are all things that society programmed and conditioned you to add to your life, right? Go and get this and go start this family and go get this education and, go have this and go start that. And everyone was pushing you away from yourself. Nobody sat you down and told you to master you. They told you to go conquer the world. Why? Because when you go conquer the world, you don't understand that everything that you added to your life is what's producing the suffering in your life. When the goal was find you first. See, that's what was supposed to happen. Find you, then go get everything else. But if you go get everything else and you don't have you, the things that you add to your life will control you. The things that you add to your life, you'll find your identity in those things. The things that you add to your life, you'll tie your happiness to those things. And now all of these things, and then the world is a constant threat to everything that you added to your life. You added this woman to your life, or you added this man to your life. And now all this jealousy is coming in. All of this, where are you going? And I need you to love me. You started placing all of these expectations. Why? Because you never had you. Somebody programmed and conditioned you to just go start adding a bunch of people to your life. Go find success, because you're going to be so happy when you become successful. Now, the fiber of your success produces any of your happiness. I know that, and I don't even have to know your name. None of your happiness comes from anything that you've acquired. Why? Because I understand hedonic adaptation. And what hedonic adaptation means is that you got temporary joy, you got temporary excitement from everything that you added to your life. And all of that's gone now. Where did joy go? Where'd the excitement go? Why don't the clothes in your closet make you excited anymore? Why doesn't that car that you've had for a year now excite you anymore? Why doesn't your house excite you anymore like it did in the beginning? There were all of these things that brought all of this temporary joy and excitement in the beginning. Where did it all go? Where did it all go? What happened to it? What happened to it? I fell in love, coach. It's humanly impossible for you to fall in love. You fell into like. Love is what you are. You don't fall into what you are. You fell into like. Why? Because you met someone that checked certain boxes that you had in your mind. We all carry this mental checklist. And you met someone that checked certain boxes in your mind more than anyone else at that time. And you added this person to your life. And so someone programmed and conditioned you because they didn't understand what love was at the time. So someone had this feeling and they said, this must mean that I'm in love. They didn't even know what love was. Why? Because love is not something that you can describe. There's not a human being in history that can describe love with words. How'd you do it? How'd you do it? I'm just asking you a question. I'm not challenging what you believe. I'm just asking you, how did you fall into love? If love is what you are, how did you fall into what you already are? You were listening to someone else. You heard that somewhere and it sounded really good. And then you said, this must be why I fell in love too. Come on, man, we got to wake up. That's all I'm saying. We just need to wake up. We don't fall into love. We fall into light. Love is what you are. You were created to give love, not to seek it. But somebody programmed to condition you to go out and start chasing it. And that's what you did. You went out looking for it because they never sat you down and told you you are it. They never sat you down and told you that what you're going out looking for, you already are. And you won't find it, but you will find someone that has the ability to enhance what's already in you. You could find that. That you can find. Love you can't find, happiness you can't find, joy you can't find, excitement you can't find, because that's what you are. But you can find someone that can enhance what's already there, that can add to what's already there. But what that person can't do is add to what's missing in you. And that's when you created the attachment. Because you weren't giving yourself all of these things because you didn't know that you were these things. You thought that these things existed outside of you. So you've been adding people to your life and adding things to your life and adding this, and you don't understand that you were confusing desire with happiness. This is self-mastery, man. I do this. Best in the world at it. You confuse desire with happiness. Anytime that you fulfill a desire, it brings you temporary joy and excitement. You confuse that temporary joy and excitement with happiness. That's why you've been adding things to your life the entire time, because it gives you that feeling that you get in the beginning, but then it goes away. The feeling only lasts for a couple of weeks, sometimes a month. That's why relationships start with nirvana and start with bliss, but end in chaos. Why is that? If you fell in love, how'd you fall out of love? That's the most important question in the world. Since you think you fall in love with people, if you fell in love, then why did you fall out of love? How did love fall out of love with love if that's what you did? How'd you do it? I'm just shattering your belief system with respect to the fact that you don't fall in love with people. You fell in like. I'll tell you what happened to you. You never fell in love with the person. You fell in like with the person. And what happened was you created a story in your mind about who you thought they were. You created a story in your mind about the role you needed that person to play for you. You created a story in your mind about what you wanted to experience with that person. And then you placed expectations on that person. And when you added that person to your life, that person didn't live up to all of what you needed them to be for you. And then you slowly started falling out of love with that person, which you never were in the beginning. But you slowly started to fall into love at that person because that person could not live up to the expectations that you placed on them. Because they could never be for you what only you could be for you. But because you lack self-awareness, you didn't realize that. So you placed all of this pressure on them to be all of these things for you that only you could be for you. You never saw the person for who they are at their essence. You only saw how you benefited from them. You only saw what you needed from them. You only saw them through the value that they added to your life. Come on, let's live in. Truth is knocking at the door. I said the truth is knocking at the door. We're going to open the door. We're going to sit here and play games on that. You saw the person because you thought this person added a certain amount of value to your life. Because if you didn't do that, then that person would have never been in your life. You saw value. You saw need. You saw your desires being fulfilled. You saw the expectations that you placed on them. You saw them through the story that you created in your mind about who you needed them to be for you. You never even saw the person at their essence. See, that's how you know we don't fall in love with people, because you don't know who they are at their essence, because you don't know yourself that deeply. If you're not spiritually awakened yet, you don't know who you are at your essence. You only think you know who you are. You don't know you that deep. So how do you know them? So if you didn't fall in, and let me qualify that. Boom. Boom. Watch this, Rika. Boom. Watch this, D. Vonnie. If you had truly fallen in love, just in case you're struggling with what I'm saying, if you have truly fallen in love with the person at their essence, you would have never fallen out of love with them. And the reason why you would have never fallen out of love with them, because you would have understood and knew everything that comes with them. You would have known their beliefs. You would have known the fact that they're not loyal all the time. You would have known that they're not powerful communicators. You would have known that sometimes they don't show up for you. Let me qualify that. Think about your kids. Think about your kids. You know your kids at their essence. That's why you will never fall out of love with your kids, because you know who they are. You know when they lie to you. You know when they're telling you the truth. You know when they do this, you know when they do that. You will love them past all of their shortcomings, all of the mistakes, all of the failures. Why? Because you know who they are at their essence. And when somebody walks up to you and they challenge you and they say, hey, your kid's this or your kid's that, you defend them because you say, no, that's not who my kid is, because you know who they are at their essence. We don't know people that deeply. We only know people that we meet romantically on some surface level. We know how we benefit from them. We see them through the value that we add, that they add to our lives. We see them based on whatever the needs that you have in that moment. Before you went out looking for that person, you needed something. That's why you went looking for, whether you were bored, whether you were lonely, whether you were unhappy with your life or whatever the case may be. You went out looking for somebody to feel what was missing in you. You didn't go out because you had love to give. You went out because love wasn't in you. That's why we go looking for love. But when you are loved, you don't go looking for it. When you become loved through self-awareness, you don't go looking for it. It finds you. We're just not going to live in the truth. We're not going to do the truth today. I'm just asking. You are loved. That's it. You don't fall into what you already are. The knife doesn't cut itself. The sun doesn't shine on itself. The tooth doesn't bite itself. The eye, E-Y-E, doesn't see itself. Love doesn't fall in love with love. Love is what you are. And somebody programmed to condition you, and I don't even blame that person. There was somebody a long time ago. We don't know who it is, and it doesn't matter. But there was somebody a long time ago, and they met someone. And when they met this person, they started to feel all of these things, right? All of these feelings that they had never had before. They didn't know how to describe it, right? They didn't know how to describe it, but they were feeling something. There was no internet back then. There was no social media. There was none of that going on. They were feeling something. They didn't have anybody to talk to. There were no books around to describe what was going on. There was no one to talk to. So they came up with that term, in love. And then historically speaking, everyone picked that up. Oh, well, I must feel that too. That must be what I feel. I felt that before, John. Oh, yes, Stacey, you're right. And everybody picked it up. No one actually knew what it meant. We just placed a label on it. Anytime you don't understand something, you place a label on it. Anytime. The moment you don't understand something, you just label it. There are two things in the world, that can never be described, ever. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you live, where you live. I don't care what you do. There are two things in this world that can never be described. Number one is love. Number two is happiness. They are the only two things that can never be described using words alone. Humanly impossible. You can take every dictionary and stack it up. You can take every Bible and stack it up. You can take every theologian. You can take every philosopher. No two people will give you the same definition of love or happiness. That's a diamond hard fact. It's not my opinion. Because everyone is seeing those things through their concept of them. Everyone is seeing those things through their programming and conditioning. And everyone's programming and conditioning is unique, which means two people are going to always come up with two different definitions. They'll never come up with the same definition, especially if you split them up and you place them in separate rooms and then you ask them that question where one answer couldn't be influenced by the next. No two people will give you the same definition. No two people. The only two things in the world that cannot be described. God is love. Cannot be described. But the same way that no two people can describe love and happiness is the same way that no two people can describe you, because you are the byproduct of those things. So if a person can't put love and happiness into words, they also can't place you into words. Stop allowing people to place you in all these boxes, man. Stop allowing people to place all of these labels on you. People don't understand what you are because they don't understand what they are. Only the self-aware person can tell you what you are. We understand when you become spiritually awakened, but before your spiritual awakening, they have no understanding of what you are. They're just going to place a label on you. And then if you're suffering in any type of way, they're going to place another label on you. Oh, you must have this, or you must have that. There's only two things in the world. There are people that are spiritually awakened, and then there are those that are not. Everything else is cap. Everything else is some label that someone operating out of lower mind, some label that someone that lacks self-awareness came up with, like in love. And they place that on you. And I'm going to tell you what hurts you. What hurts you is that you believe it. The label didn't hurt you. The belief that you attached to the label, that's what hurt you. Because belief unlocks experience. Whatever you believe, you're going to create that experience. Not because reality wanted you to do it, because you believed it. Tapping is clapping, you guys. Get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. That part right there. That part right there. Assumption, belief, experience. There's only two things. No, coach, he's a narcissist. There's two things. There's only two things. See, the self-aware person, life is simple for us. It's simple for us because we understand that there's love and there's fear. There's love and there's happiness. Fear is the absence of love. That's where all of the violence comes from. When love is not present, anything can happen. That's why I tell you guys, you should only be in environments where love's presence is there. Because if love's presence is not there, anything could go wrong. I don't give a damn how you label it after that. When love walked out the door, you should have walked out the door too. Period. The moment that love walked out the door, you should have been right on love's heels. Because anything after that is drama. There's only two things. There's love and there's fear. All ignorance comes from someone's fear of something. I may not get this. I won't be happy if I don't have that. I need to go and conquer this, or I won't be happy. I want this. I need that. All of that ignorance comes from fear. All of the violence comes from fear. Somebody's afraid they're not going to get something. Somebody's afraid you're going to take something away from them. Somebody's afraid they're going to lose something. I'll lose her. She's talking to an attractive guy. Here comes the jealousy. What's the root cause? Fear. The jealousy came from the fear of not getting her, the fear of losing her, the fear that she might be taken away in that moment. That's what created the rage. You had convinced yourself that you wouldn't be happy without her, that she was your happiness, he is your happiness, and so you acted a fool. You became the emotion. You became what you reacted to. You became the jealousy. One more time. If you are suffering in any capacity of your life, it's because you are not spiritually awakened. Does it make you a bad person? Like I said, there's only two things. There's people that are spiritually awakened, and then there are those that are not. The people that are still spiritually awakened, we can come up with a billion titles and a billion labels to attach to them. And it's all nonsense. It's all foolishness. It's all people that operate out of lower mind trying to convince you that they're smart, that they figured something out. That's all it is. It's only two things. And that's my thing. You being the human manifestation. See, I tell people this all the time. If you weren't actively engaged in making yourself miserable, you would be happy right now. What do you mean, coach? Actively engaged. If you weren't always focused on what's missing from your life, if you weren't always focused on who's not loving you, if you weren't always focused on what you don't have, if you weren't always focused on what's wrong with your body, if you weren't always focused on what's not there, you're always actively engaged and focusing, you're always doing subtraction. How often do you do addition? Is the billion-dollar question. We spend 85% of our day in a constant state of subtraction. What's missing? What's wrong? This problem, that problem. This person said this. That person said that. This person commented. Damn all of that. I got time for that. You're destroying your own capacity to experience Anin. What's Anin, coach? Bliss. Bliss. You're so focused on what's not there. How can happiness be where you are? Damn all of that. What you tolerate from other people is too expensive. The disrespect that others project onto you is too expensive. You accepting less than you deserve from others is too expensive. You not loving yourself unconditionally is too expensive. Too expensive. And then you not putting in the work to become the fully healed, fully self-aware version of yourself is too expensive. What's more important? Tell me. Tell me one thing that's more important than you understanding why God created you specifically. I'll give you all day. Because you only understand that once you become awakened. Before that, you're searching for your purpose, never realizing that the purpose is you. The purpose of your life is for you to discover who you are. Not for you to discover who someone else is. Not for you to place this person on some pedestal in your life. Not your relationship. Not what's going on with your kids. The purpose of your life is for you to discover who you are. Because the moment that you discover who you are, what you're going to understand is that your purpose is connected to your pain. That's what your purpose is connected to. It's connected to every single thing that you've experienced leading up to this moment. That's your purpose in life. If you don't know what it is, I just told you. And I don't know what you've experienced. Right? I don't know what you've experienced. But what I do know is that you're in this moment, you're being transformed. Do we change, coach? No, people don't change. Do we evolve, coach? No, people don't evolve. We become transformed. Why? Because every single version of yourself that you have ever been throughout the history of your life, you still are right now. And every single version of yourself that you will ever become, you are right now. You are everything you need to be in this moment. What's blocking you from experiencing all of that is the amount of love that you give yourself in this moment. It's how much are you loving you? How much are you investing in the number one asset called you? How quickly are you becoming a master at removing things that no longer serve you, that no longer add value to your life? Eliminating the programming and conditioning because it's hurting you. Eliminating your attachments because it's hurting you. Eliminating your ego and your pride and the mask that you wear because it's hurting you. And just showing up to the moment as the most authentic version of yourself because that's the version of you that God created. I'm standing in the shoes of that. I'm the evidence of that for you. I'm you pushed out 6 months from now, 1 year from now, 2 years from now. It's all based on you. I don't study self-awareness. I am self-awareness. I don't study self-mastery. I am self-mastery. I don't study emotional intelligence. I am emotional intelligence. He just transformed me into the human manifestation of medicine. I'm more powerful than every pharmacy on the planet combined. Give me any person that's been going to therapy more than a year. Give me 30 days with them. Uninterrupted. I promise you they'll be the baddest thing walking. I promise you they will be the baddest thing walking. I am medicine, but so are you. I ain't just talking about me. I'm talking about what we are. I'm talking about what we are. That's what you are. You are walking, talking medicine. You are a walking, talking pharmacy. You diagnose every situation in your life and then you prescribe the medicine, whether that's anger, whether that's unhappiness, whether that's depression, whether that's joy, whether that's excitement. You do it all. You are a walking pharmacy. And your pill is belief. That's what makes you powerful, what you believe. It's the only thing that makes you powerful. Happiness releases you from the self. We get that. Anytime that you're suffering in any capacity, you're tied to the self. Suffering ties you to the self. Happiness releases you from the self. But it's belief. Belief unlocks experience. Love takes you to the highest vibrational frequency and keeps you aligned with God. You got to understand how you work. And then your pain, whatever that might be, is connected to your purpose. So now I'm going to become an energetic match for every single person that experienced what I experienced before I had my spiritual awakening. I don't give a damn if you at the bottom of the ocean. I don't care if you sitting on top of the moon. I don't care if you in a space shuttle somewhere flying through the universe. You'll be able to talk to that person in a way that only you would know and that only they would know. I would never be able to do that because I don't carry the medicine that you carry, man. You got to understand that. The story and everything that you went through is your medicine. It's your tool bag. You've been running from the story, never realizing that the story is your story that makes you powerful. I don't give a damn how dark you think it was. Your job is to become the light. That's what God created you for. In case you don't know, can you become the light? That's it. It's a simple question. It's a simple question. Deserves a simple answer. He just wants to know, can you become the light? Because what you think happened to you didn't actually happen to you. You witnessed what happened to you, but you're identifying with the wounds right now. That's the only reason why you suffer. The whole purpose of your story is, can you become the light? I became the light. And I'm not only just the light for me, I'm the light for every single person that I encounter. That's what your purpose is connected to. That doesn't mean that you can't go out and do other things. That doesn't mean that you can't become the content creator, or you can't become the lawyer, you can't become the doctor, you can't become the father or the mother and fill in the blank. Doesn't mean any of that. What that means is that no matter what let me qualify that. I don't give a damn if you're a personal trainer, if you pick up trash on the side of the street, if you paint houses. Let me tell you what's going to happen to you. The gift that you carry right now is so powerful. The medicine that you are that's connected to your story. When you become the fully healed version of yourself, when you become whole, what's going to happen to you is this. Let's just say you wash cars. You'll be washing cars. And somebody will be talking to you about their problems or whatever the case may be, and you'll be able to solve that. They say, damn, man, you need to be my therapist. That's what you're going to hear them say that time and time and time again. You'll be talking to this person over here. This dude might be, hey, Mr. Johnson, how you doing today, man? I just finished watching your car. Mr. Johnson's like, oh, man, I'm kind of happy. Well, what's going on, Mr. Johnson? You'll be sitting there, you'll be talking, all of a sudden, you just solve all of Mr. Johnson's problems. Yeah, you can watch cars, but that's not who you are. Underneath all of that, God created, he sent Mr. Johnson to you, but you don't realize that at the moment when you lack self-awareness. And everywhere you go, whether you at the barbershop, you at the mall, people just want to talk to you because you solve their problems. Because you are the answer. You are an energetic match for every single person that went through what you went through. I need you to understand that. Again, that doesn't mean that you can't go out and do other things. Whether you want to cut hair, you want to build houses or whatever, none of that matters. What else you do. But if you really want to become the most powerful version of yourself, then you would become a life coach, or you would start your own business where you just basically, you're open to, you might write a book, you might do whatever it is you want to do. You might create an e-course, you might travel and be a motivational speaker. There's all types of things that you can do. The only limitation is the one you place on yourself. That's it. It's the only one you have. That part right there, Moni, lean into the light. Because whatever it is that happened already happened. We don't need to keep talking about what happened. Who are you becoming because of what happened? Because that's really who you are. You are not what happened to you. You are who you become because of what happened to you. And that choice belongs to you. One more time, there are two things in this world that can never be described, which also means that you can never be described. Not using words alone. You can't describe love. No one can. You can only experience it. You can't describe happiness. No one can. You can only experience it. People are giving you their concepts of what they think these things are, because you can't put words to what these things are. You can try, but I can promise you this, no two people will give you the same definition. Just do it. Just do that little survey for me, please. Just humor me. Find two people and don't let one person's answers be influenced by the next. And I promise you, you will get two completely different definitions. This is why relationships become dangerous. Relationships are dangerous because people don't understand. You got one concept of what you think love is. Your partner has a different concept of what they think love is. So what they're giving you in their mind is love. But in your mind, you're like, this isn't enough for me. You're not going hard for me. You're not this or that. But to that person, they're giving you the best of everything they are. Why? Because you weren't self-aware enough to sit that person down and ask them, what does love mean to you? Only thing we get caught up on is what I'm going to get for this person and how much money they make and how pretty or handsome they are and where they go to school. Damn all of that. You ain't in a relationship with that person's achievements. You're in a relationship with their programming and conditioning. That's what you are marrying. So if you don't know what that person's definition of love is, you didn't have any business signing up for the relationship. That's Russian roulette. Because now that person feels like you're trying to change me, and you are. You like, you don't do enough. I need you to do this, and I need you to do that, and I need you to be this for me, and I need you to be that. You changing the person. You're not accepting them for who they are. You're trying to transform them into who you need them to be for you. Why did you need love coming from them anyways? The love was only coming from you. It never came from the other person. Again, people can only come into our lives and enhance what's already there. That's the whole beauty of a relationship. A person can come into your life and enhance what's already there. What they cannot do is create what's missing in you. But most people jump into a relationship with all of these things that are missing in you, and then you place expectations on this person, needing them to be for you what only you could be for you. And then you mistake that It's they don't love me, coach. They don't value me. You tie in value and love to the wrong things. It has nothing to do with any of that. Anytime that someone doesn't live up to our expectations, we take that as a sign, by some strange trick of the mind. We take that as a sign that they don't really love us like that. Never realizing and understanding that a person can't love you any deeper than they love themselves. A person can't understand you any deeper than they understand themselves. Every single person is only operating at their level of consciousness, not yours. That's why relationships fall apart. People come in with we come in backwards. We come into the relationship wrong. I'm telling you, we come in wrong. How do you get to the right place when you come in wrong? Because we've been programmed and conditioned to focus on their education. We've been programmed and conditioned to focus on who their family and their bloodline is. We've been programmed and conditioned to focus on how handsome or pretty they are, how much money they make, what type of house do they live in, damn all of that. That's what destroyed your relationship. None of that mattered. None of it. I said none of it. We focus on all, I'm just telling you. I'm just giving you universal truth right now. When you become self-aware, when you really get there, you'll understand all of that. You won't care about all of the things that everyone else is caring about. You're going to be focused on things that matter, which is the programming and conditioning of that person. Which is, are they really healed? Are they whole? Is this person still a work in progress, or have they mastered themselves? Because if you haven't mastered yourself, that means that you're going to project what's broken in you onto me. I don't want that suffering. Come back to me when you whole and complete. I don't want that suffering. We can be friends, but what I'm not getting ready to do is jump in a relationship with you and you still a work in progress. Because once you become that completed version of yourself, your opinions about me are going to change. Your perspectives are going to change. Your beliefs are going to change, which means your attitude toward me may change. I don't have time to play Russian roulette with people. You want people that are on the other side of their spiritual awakening, not people that haven't even started the process yet. Most people are jumping in a relationship with people that haven't even started the process yet. This person don't even know who they are yet. And if they don't understand who they are, how can they know who you are? How can I have value and appreciation for you and I don't know who I am yet? Well, just help me out. Just help me do the math. I don't know. Maybe you know something I don't know. That part right there, Tina. But see, and I don't blame anybody for that. Right, Tina? I don't blame anybody for that. And the reason why I say that is because we get programmed by society. We think a good partner, the person that lacks self-awareness, they think a good partner is somebody that makes six figures, somebody that's attractive, somebody that has a good education, somebody that comes from a good family, has a nice car, got a few dollars in the bank, has a home, right, in their name. In the mind of the sleeping person, ooh, you got a catch. That's what they're going to tell you. Ooh, you found one. I'm so jealous. All the illusion. You bought the trailer to the movie. You don't know who the person is because you only are focused on what they've achieved. But you're not in the relationship with their achievements. You know, I say this a lot, and it sounds, you know, on the surface it sounds good, but when you really tap into the meaning of what I'm saying, you'll really understand. That part right there, we buy the trailers to the movie, man. You know, we buy the trailer. And oftentimes when you're at a real movie theater and you see this trailer, the trailer was what makes you want to go see the movie. But the trailer was really the best part of the movie. The movie was horrible. The movie was horrible, but the trailer was good, and they were smart enough to do that. They put all of the best and everything they needed to do, and that's what people do. When they meet you, they give you their highlight reel. But when you actually get an opportunity to get past the honeymoon phase of your desires and all of these things for that person, and then the real them starts to emerge, the real them and the trailer don't match. But by this time, you're emotionally invested, mentally invested, spiritually invested. You're already invested. So let me tell you what you do. So you hang in there, thinking that you can change the person, never realizing that the person is operating at full capacity. Whatever they're giving you, that's the best of what they can give you. Trust me, if they could give you more, they would. And if they don't give you more and they could give you more, that means that they don't really love you like that. Either way, you got a problem. You got a problem, a whole sea of problems. Because again, I came into the relationship looking for something versus coming into the relationship whole and complete, not needing anything. I don't need this person to be anything for me. And if I do need them to be something for me, I only need them to enhance what's already there. I don't need them to add to what's missing because there's nothing missing because I'm already complete. Now the relationship is healthy. The relationship became unhealthy the moment that you showed up into the relationship missing things, not loving yourself, not showing up for yourself, not believing in yourself, not investing in yourself. You were lonely. You were bored. You saw all of your little friends going out on these little dates with their partners. You like, I don't have anyone. And so then you went and jumped on some app because somebody told you about it, some dating app, and you went and jumped on the app and you found this person and he got an education and she has this and he has that, and you created a relationship out of that. That's why it fell apart. What about the relationship with you? Because if you don't have a powerful relationship with you, how do you have a powerful relationship with someone else? If the relationship with you isn't off the chain, if the relationship with you isn't off the chain, it'll never be off the chain with someone else. That should scare you or ignite you. If the relationship with yourself isn't powerful, it will never be powerful with someone else. You don't know that? So when you were talking about you were lonely and you went looking for someone, you were already in trouble. When you weren't loving yourself and you went looking for someone, you were already in trouble. You are what made the relationship toxic because you showed up to the relationship empty. See, we don't understand that there are certain things that we are supposed to bring to the relationship no matter what. But what are those things, Coach? You bring a duffel bag full of your happiness. You bring a duffel bag full of joy. You bring a duffel bag full of excitement. You bring a duffel bag full of love. That's baseline. That start point. I showed up with everything that I needed to make this relationship successful. I didn't show up missing anything. I showed up with things. And then I'm expecting this person to show up with at least what I showed up with. If they can just show up with what I showed up with, the relationship will be a success. But if I've got to jumpstart their happiness and jumpstart the way that they love themselves, and I've got to be the force multiplier for them, and I've got to motivate them and be their therapist from time to time, are you in trouble? Some of you guys are playing that role right now. When you got to be your partner's therapist, you got to be the jumper cables for them. You got to get them and motivate them. You got to inspire them. You in trouble. Because if you are not where you want to be in life, and if that's not motivation enough for you, I don't know what is. If the fact that you are not where you want to be in life, and if somebody got to still pump you up and you're not where you want to be, are you in the way? You in the way. I'm talking about all the way in the way. I'm in a relationship with me and God. Full blown. Damn, they ain't got time for nothing else. I've emptied my life of people. The people that are in my life are my students. They get my love, they get my attention, they get my focus, they get my this, they get my that. I've got God on this side, I've got me here, I've got my students in front of me, and my focus is to make sure that they are everything that they need to be. And while I am in the process of loving the hell out of myself, while I'm in the process of building a more powerful relationship with God every single day and building a more powerful relationship with my students every single day. And if someone should just want to walk up and hand me the love that they have in them, wonderful. But I'm not looking for anything. Because everything I need, I already have. That's it. I'm in a full-blown relationship with my students. I'm in a full-blown relationship with God. I'm in a full-blown, that's all my time. I ain't got time for nothing else. I get time for nothing. But again, we've been programmed and conditioned to believe that we're supposed to be in relationships. Why are they all falling apart? If it's this magnificent, wonderful thing, why do so many of them fail? I'm just asking. I'm not challenging anybody. I'm just asking. If that was what we were supposed to be doing, why are so many of them, why do more of them fail than succeed? And even the ones that succeed, if you were to really ask the people, if you could really pull them to the side, I can promise you, chances are most of the people that are in relationships right now, most of them aren't happy. Most of them aren't getting what they want, need, and desire. Most people are settling. Come on, live in the truth now. Truth is back at the door. Live in the truth. Call your girlfriend and really ask her. Call your homeboy and really ask him to pull him aside. Don't do it where his answer might be influenced by somebody. Don't do it by her answer. Just ask, are you getting everything you need from your relationship? Watch what you hear. Most people are in relationships because they represent convenience. Most people are in relationships because they represent comfort. Most people are in relationships because that person doesn't want to be lonely. They knew a long time ago that they weren't going to get everything they want, need, and desire from this person. But at least I know my partner. At least I don't have to worry. At least I don't have, no, you're settling. You've settled. There was what you wanted, and then there was what you received, and then there was what you settled for. You have to know the difference between what you're getting and what you settled for. And all of that is the byproduct of you not loving yourself. Because it's humanly impossible. It's humanly impossible for you to love yourself at a 5-star level, but to settle for someone that's giving you 3-star love. You love you at a 5-star level, but you added this person that loves you at the humanly impossible. I don't even have to know you, and I know that. I'm telling you, the majority of relationships fail, and then the ones that succeed, there may be a handful. There may be a handful where that person will tell you, I'm getting everything. How many times, be honest, just put it in the chat. How many times have you heard a person say, my relationship has exceeded my expectations? Be honest. Don't cap right now. We don't need you to cap. Just be honest. How many people have told you with a straight face that my relationship, it has exceeded my own expectations? I'm not talking about some brand new relationship where everything is all this pretending going on. I'm talking about people that have been together at least 5 years or better. I do this every day. I coach people in relationships every single day. Why do you think so? Why do you think these other industries exist? Because relationships fall apart. Because we go in looking for things, in the relationship that we were supposed to bring. It's rare. And again, that doesn't mean that there aren't successful couples out there. But I can tell you a whole lot of power couples where there's cheating going on all in the relationship. Somebody cheated on Beyonce. Damn, if you cheat on Beyonce, the regular person ain't got a shot. If Beyonce get cheated on, damn, the rest of us ain't got a shot. How you cheat on her? That part right there, Moni, you know. That part, I'm just saying, we don't understand that again, when you, let me tell you what we don't understand. And this ain't no knock on Beyonce and them. I'm not saying that I'm just saying, damn. I mean, how we win that game? But what I'm saying to you is, what we don't understand is that when a person lacks self-awareness, they're living through their desires. That's what I need you to understand. This ain't got nothing to do with Beyonce. When a person lacks self-awareness, they are living through their desires. They are living through their needs. They are loyal to what's in front of them at that time. When you lack self-awareness, that's how you're moving through the world. Okay? And so when that person, when there's nobody around and nobody watching and all of these other things, who do you transform into? Yeah, you got a whole human being at home, but guess what? Hedonic adaptation has already kicked in. You already had so many experiences with this person that you're bored with the experiences of that person. Now you've got this new person in front of you. Just as beautiful, just as attractive, but you haven't had a single experience with this person before. And you want the experience with that person. Now you may not want the person. That part I'll give you. You may not want the person in terms of some long-term relationship or whatever the case may be, but you want the experience. That's what most people are going to war with in their own minds. We don't realize that. So when that person is out in the world, again, when there's no cameras on, nobody's looking, nobody's watching, who do you transform into? When you're having all of these, you got to understand that every single person on the face of this earth is an experience. Every single person is some different, unique experience. You got to be a powerful person. I don't give a damn who you are. You've got to be a powerful person to love the one experience that you have sitting at home, so much so that it has blinded you to every other possible experience that you could have. That's the same way when you're driving down the street. Let's say you have a Honda or you got a Mercedes Benz or you got whatever type of car you got, right? Cadillac, truck, whatever you have. You mean to tell me when you drive in that car, you don't see any other pretty cars? That's what you telling me with a straight face? You don't ever say, ooh, I wish I had that. Or, ooh, I wish I had the new this. Or, ooh, I wish I had that. That's what you're telling me? Of course you do that. So it's no different when you lack self-awareness, right? A person is walking through life and you're seeing all of these beautiful experiences. And when you're with your partner, you can pretend not to see it, but you see it. Even when your partner is with you, they notice everything that's going on in that restaurant, in that nightclub, in that this, in that. What matters is what's the thought that person is having at that time. Because when you become self-aware, what you understand is that the grass is not greener on the other side. But when you don't lack self-awareness, you don't realize that. You don't realize that. Man, I'm giving you raw truth right now. I'm giving you universal raw truth right now. When you lack self-awareness, let me say this to you. And any person that's being honest will at least admit this. When you are out with your partner, lie and tell me right now that when you are out with your partner, you don't notice other attractive people. That doesn't mean that you act on it, but damn, you saw it. You ain't had that thought. When you saw that big 6 foot tall, muscle bound dude with all the tattoos walk in, you didn't see that? You didn't have a thought? Because see, what we understand with self-awareness is that every time you see someone, you have an emotional reaction to that person. That's a diamond hard fact. That's not my opinion. Every single time that you see someone, you have an emotional reaction to that person. Why? Because that person is an experience. Again, it doesn't mean that you want to go home and marry the person, do all of these other things, but it means you saw that. And you had an emotional reaction to that. And that emotional reaction triggered off a set of beliefs and thoughts in you at that time. That's all I'm saying. I just live in the truth. I write about it in my book. Every single time and it happens to you, every single time that a person sees you, every single time that a person sees you, they are having an emotional reaction to you. Again, doesn't mean they want to go home and make love to you and all these other things. They're having an emotional reaction to you. Every time. Why? Because they've never seen you before. And if you just happen to be someone that's really attractive or really handsome or really whatever, then you really make an impact on that person. Man, I'm telling you what God loves right now. You have an emotional reaction to every single person that you see. But here's the thing. Sometimes you'll look up at people and they may not be that attractive to you, meaning that they didn't make your mental checklist. And they won't move your needle. You'll go back to reading your book or sipping your coffee or doing whatever. But certain people will walk in and will stop you dead in your tracks. And you'll just get caught up looking for a second. And then you'll look. We just not going to live in the truth on this platform, huh? We're going to tell everything but the truth. I'm telling you what's real. So what I'm saying to you is that so when you jump into these relationships with these people, even when that person is with you, they saw the beautiful girl, you saw her too. They saw her, but they'll look away out of respect for you. But what would happen if you weren't there? There's not a single person in that restaurant. There's not a single person at that nightclub. There's not a single person at that hotel that your partner doesn't see, man or woman. It doesn't matter. They've seen it all. And they had an emotional reaction in that moment. Now, that doesn't mean that they were going to do anything disrespectful to you. That's not what that means. But what that also means is that if you weren't there, and if the opportunity, just everything happened to align the way that they needed to align, what would they do? Oftentimes when a person cheats on you, it's not with someone that's more attractive to you. It's actually it's more attractive than you. It's actually with someone that's far less attractive than you. It's only because the experience was new and different. Look back over your life if you've ever been cheated on. It's just the experience, Tracy. It has nothing to do with people chase experiences. That's what happens when you lack self-awareness. You chase experiences. So it wasn't that the woman was better than you or smarter than you or prettier than you or more talented than you. It had nothing to do with that. That's the story you created in your mind. It had nothing to do with that. She was just something that he had never experienced before. He was something that she had never experienced before, period. If you put any more on it than that, you're thinking too much. And that's what makes me, so when I look at it from that perspective, let me tell you that's what scares me about relationships. That's what really scares me about relationships. But let me tell you how you know you have a powerful relationship. Let me tell you how you know you have a powerful relationship. Again, the self-aware person understands. Yep, people crave attention too. Absolutely. But that part right there, especially. How you know you have a powerful relationship is when you are so magnetic that the experience of you is so powerful to your partner that your partner doesn't want any other experiences other than the experience called you. That's when your relationship is powerful. When your partner is so magnetic, right? When you are so in love with who they are, what they are, how they move, how they think, how they dress, how they act, that you would never do anything, right, to compromise the relationship in any capacity. You don't want any other experiences. You should be able to see, here's the thing. You should be able to set your partner down if he's a man in any strip club in this country. See, most women, I don't want you going to the strip club. Why not? Why not? You don't think he's seeing beautiful women everywhere he goes? See, that's your programming and conditioning. No, I want you to sit there. Go to all of them. Because if that person has the power to make you walk away from the relationship, I didn't have anything to begin with. So I would rather find that out right now than find that out 10 years from now. But see, that's the whole thing. If your partner can't be in certain environments because you're terrified that person, somebody may take that person from you, you don't have anything. I want you to go. Go to the best nightclubs. Go to the best this. Go to the best that. Because anybody that takes you away from me took my problems away. That's what they did. Took all of my problems away. Revealed all of my weaknesses. Because that's what that person was. You walking around, I don't want you going here, and I don't want you going there, and I don't want you doing this, and I don't want you doing that. What you think you doing? What do you think is happening? You think all of these, didn't you find them attractive? Isn't that the reason why you talk to them? Didn't you walk up to that person and get their number or do whatever it is you did because you found them attractive? What, did they stop being attractive the day you met them? They stopped being attractive the day you jumped into the relationship with them? Come on, wake up. So all of that, I don't want you here, and I don't want you not doing anything but creating some false sense of security in your mind. You are insecure. You're trying to control this and control that. No, I want you to go out and do what you do. See, you have to, I tell people this all the time, you have to let people be who they are. And once they show you who they are, then you can make an intelligent decision on whether or not you want this person to be a part of your life. Let them be who they are. Stop trying to control the situation because you're actually not controlling anything. If your woman is pretty, she pretty at the gas station, she pretty at the grocery store, she pretty at the mall, she pretty when she cooking breakfast, she's pretty everywhere. So all of that, I don't want you going here and I don't want you going there, you're not doing anything. You're fooling yourself. In the same way that you walked up to her, is the same way that other people approach her. Again, it doesn't mean she's engaging with that. It just means that it's happening. Did it happen for you? Okay, well, it's going to happen for her. Yeah, it's just, like I said again, what you want is a partner, again, once you become self-aware, then you're going to attract a partner that has also put in the work on themselves to become self-aware. The self-aware person is not caught up on the superficial things. The self-aware person doesn't care about how much money you make or where you went to school or any of that because they understand that none of that is the glue that's going to keep the relationship together. The self-aware person understands that the grass is not greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. So I don't want to keep jumping in and out of relationship from relationship. I've taken my time. I found my person that is an energetic match to everything that I am. I understand his or her programming and conditioning. I understand how they healed themselves, and I understand that there's nothing to project onto me because they're already healed. So they're not projecting their trauma onto me. They're not projecting their pain onto me. They're not projecting yesterday onto me. They don't have all of these expectations that they've placed on me and all of these things that I have to live up to so that they can be happy. None of that's happening. But to the relationships that lack self-awareness, that's exactly what's happening. Your partner needs you to be all of these things for them. All right. So real quick, you guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the live. I hope to see. So Rhonda, you said that's draining. What's that, Rhonda? What's draining? What is she saying is draining? Not being self-aware is what's draining. I appreciate that, Brian. Not being self-aware is what's draining. Not knowing who you are is what's draining. Needing other people to be for you what only you could be for you. That's draining. Not loving yourself is draining. Not believing in yourself is draining. Waiting on someone to choose you is draining. Life is so easy for the person that's self-aware because they're not looking for anything outside of themselves. Only people who lack self-awareness is looking for everything outside of themselves. I'm telling you. Real quick, my name is Jordan Williams. I am a certified life coach. I specialize in self-awareness and self-mastery, helping people to become the most powerful versions of themselves. Self-awareness is not something that you find. Self-awareness is something that finds you. Self-mastery and emotional intelligence, again, isn't something that you find. These are things that find you. In the combination of self-awareness, self-mastery, and emotional intelligence, the combination of those things is what brings creative force to your life. It's what really transforms you into the most powerful version of yourself. Your purpose in life is directly connected to your pain. Your job, right, is to, through self-awareness, is to become transformed so that you become the light. You become the light from the story. You become the light from everything that you've experienced leading up to this moment. What you have to understand is that two things are happening in your life. You have this moment, and then you have your life situation. Your life situation is every single thing that has happened to you leading up to this moment, right? Your life is this moment. The reason why we suffer, it's because most people spend 85% of their day living out of their life situation, their programming and conditioning, their ego, their persona, their reputation, their pain, their past wounds, and all of those things. Again, you have your life and you have your life situation. Your life is this moment. Your life situation is everything leading up to this moment. What does the present moment need from you? The present moment needs you to detach yourself from your life situation because your life situation did its job. Its job was to get you to this moment. You have to understand that death in awareness means to shed or get rid of. I'm not talking about your programmed idea of what death is. In awareness, death means to shed or get rid of. Right? That's all that it means. So which means that I have to shed and get rid of yesterday's version of me. I have to shed and get rid of my past mistakes and failures. I have to shed and get rid of who I used to be and step into this moment as the fully fresh, healed version of myself. But if I keep bringing my wounds and my past experiences and my pain and my trauma to the moment, I'll never become the most powerful version of myself. Right? And not only that, I have to carry a SWOT mindset. What does that mean? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. What's a threat to you right now? That's the most important question. Question number 2, who are you uninterrupted? I want you to just think about that. Who are you uninterrupted? Meaning, if there was nothing standing in your way, if there was nothing blocking you, if there was nothing holding you back, who would you be? And more importantly, what's interrupting you? Because if you don't have the emotional intelligence to know what's currently standing in your way, what's currently blocking you from becoming the most powerful version of yourself, even if that thing that's blocking you is you, and chances are it is you. Because all of the problems that we create in our lives are created by the programming and conditioning that we apply to the present moment. The present moment doesn't create your problems. You bring your problems to the present moment and then you project them onto the present moment. Your circumstances don't create the way that you feel. The meaning that you attach to your circumstances is creating what you feel. You have to constantly be operating from the highest vibrational frequency. But how can you operate from the highest vibrational frequency if you don't control what things mean to you? You have to become a master at controlling what things mean to you. Why? Because meaning unlocks emotion. Whatever you attach meaning to, you unlock the emotional experience. The circumstances didn't do it. Your job didn't do it. Your relationship didn't do it. God didn't do it. You did it. Every time you attach meaning to something, you unlock the emotional experience in that moment. It's humanly impossible for anything outside of you to control the way you feel, right? So you have to understand that you have to become a master in this moment at controlling what things mean to you specifically. When you control what things mean, you control your life. You lack self-awareness if you don't understand that all of the meaning in life that you attach to things is coming from you. You produce the depression, you produce the fear, you produce the unhappiness, you produce the anxiety. How do I do that, coach? Because you don't have mastery over your mind. Somebody has programmed and conditioned you to master everything outside of yourself, just not you. And so you're reacting to this and you're reacting to that. And this person said this and this person criticized you and this person walked out of your life, and you just react to things. And when you react to the thing, you attach meaning to it, which means that you create the emotion. How are you fouling yourself out of the game? That's what I want you to understand. You can't experience a single negative emotion without first telling yourself a story about that particular situation. Why are you punishing yourself for who walked out of your life? Why are you punishing yourself because this person cut you off in traffic? Why are you punishing yourself because this person not choosing you anymore? Why are you punishing yourself because this person didn't give you the promotion? The only person that's hurting you is you. That's it. And then you run off to the therapist or you run off to the psychiatrist, never understanding that the solution to everything that you are looking for is you. When you take the time to master you, not only do you master your life, you master the world. You are what you have been looking for. You are your best relationship. You are the path. You haven't taken a single wrong path in your life, even though you think you have. That's your programming and conditioning talking to you. You don't take wrong paths in life because every path you take only leads you to a deeper understanding of yourself. Every bad relationship led you to this moment. All of the heartache led you to this moment. All of the suffering led you to this moment. It's the filters that we look at our lives through that causes more. You suffer more in your imagination than you ever could in reality. I said ever. You suffer here. Your wounds live in your mind. They don't exist in reality. Pain is a thought. That's all it is. No one's ever told you that. Pain is a thought. And every time you reactivate the memory trace from that thought, you unlock all of the experiences and all of the emotions that are associated with that particular brand of pain that you keep reactivating. Pain is only a thought. It's a tiny little cloud in the sky called you. You have to be bigger than your problems. You have to be bigger than your pain. You have to be bigger than your trauma. You have to be bigger than everything that has ever went wrong with you, because all of the negative things that have happened to your life is leading to your spiritual awakening. Everything belongs at your feet, not on some pedestal in your mind. In the same way that you will never be on the same level as God. Fear all of it. You create it all. Fear is only a misuse of your imagination. You don't fear the future. You fear what you imagine might happen in the future. You're creating all of it. The only problem in your life is called YOU. Just you, nothing else. You are your only problem. And so, but what's beautiful about that is that you're the problem and you're the solution. And so what I'm going to teach you how to do is just become the solution. I'm going to teach you how to become the solution. And once you become the solution, it's game over. No problems, no depression, no stress, no any of that. Spiritual masters will tell you this. Before enlightenment, I was depressed. After enlightenment, I continued to be depressed. Strange paradox. How could that be? Wait a minute. Make it make sense. What does that mean? There's no identification there. The person who lacks self-awareness is identifying with the depression. The person who is spiritually awakened does not identify with the depression. The depression is only a tiny cloud in the sky of that person. You've got the wrong idea of what happiness is. You stopped being happy and you focused on the fact that the depression is in your life. The depression is only in your life because maybe you slipped into unawareness in that moment. Maybe you went to sleep for just a moment. Maybe you entertained some thought from all of your yesterdays and it attracted the depression cloud in your sky. That's all it is. It's a tiny little cloud in your sky. What are you giving it attention for? You're giving it power. And if you leave the cloud alone, it'll float away like every other cloud. But you jumped on top of it. And then you identified with it. You said, I am depressed, coach. That's when it was over. That's when you fouled out of the game. The spiritual master will tell you, before enlightenment, I used to be depressed. After enlightenment, I continue to be depressed. Attitude is the difference. I don't identify anymore. I understand that I manifested that depression cloud into my sky. I attached meaning to something in my life. And it attracted, so the depression was coming to let me know you're out of alignment with the truth. Catch that? See, you don't understand that the depression is on your side. It's coming to let you know you've attached the negative meaning to what depression is. That's what's hurting you. You don't understand that the depression is coming to let you know you're out of alignment with the truth. Don't give me Webster's definition of what depression is, because you're going to suffer. I'm telling you what depression in awareness means. In awareness, depression is your ally. It's not your enemy. It's coming to let you know you're out of alignment with the truth here. There's some falsehood in your life. Something in your life right now isn't real, or I wouldn't be here. There's some falsehood. You've got some story that you're living out of that doesn't attach or doesn't align with reality. That's the only reason why I'm showing up. I'm just here. You invited me to the party. You asked me to show up. I just showed up. You asked me to show up anytime that I'm out of alignment with the truth. You don't understand that you manifested the depression. Because anytime that you are out of alignment with the truth, you bring depression into your life. And it's not there to punish you. It's there to wake you up. But you've been listening to people. So you think when the depression is there, there's something that's wrong with you. Anytime that you are out of alignment with God, anytime that you are out of alignment with truth, anytime that you are carrying some story in your mind that does not align with what's happening in reality, anytime that there's something false in your life, here comes the depression. Here comes the unhappiness. Here comes the anxiety. Here comes the fear. You've lost sight of who you are. You're operating out of your programming and conditioning. You're operating out of lower mind. You're not loving yourself right now. That's why the depression is coming. It's letting you know, hey, where's the love for you? You're disconnected from love right now. You're disconnected from happiness right now. You're disconnected from joy right now. You're disconnected from peace. But somebody programmed and conditioned you to look at it as a negative thing. All of a sudden, you became the depression. How did you develop the ability to become the emotion? Make it make sense for me, please. How did you develop the ability to go from being the human manifestation of love, the human manifestation of joy, the human manifestation of the divine in you? How did you go from being that to becoming an emotion? When you say I am, everything that follows that is the identity. That's what creates all of the experiences in you, is the fact that you believe, by some strange trick of the mind, you believe that you are your depression. You believe that you are your anxiety. You believe that you are the stress and you are the worry and you are the fear. No, these are only clouds in your sky that are coming to let you know that you are out of touch with reality, out of touch with the truth, out of touch with your highest and best self, somehow, some way. It's so simple. If I could sit with you, it's so simple. I could just look back over your life or look back over the last 24 hours. Something that you are entertaining is not real. Some illusion in your life, some falsehood in your life, somewhere, somehow, some way, there's something in your life that's not accurate. Maybe you're hanging on to a relationship that no longer serves you. And that's why it's showing up. Maybe there's something in your life that no longer adds value to you. That's why it's showing up. You're clinging to something. You're creating the traffic jam. How can reality flow through you if you're hanging on to the previous moment? Everything is only a cloud in your sky. You got to understand. You the sky, man. You don't ever identify with the cloud. I don't need to give the cloud attention. What I need to do is shift my energy. The moment that cloud shows up, I need to shift my energy to what's no longer adding value to my life. Where am I not loving myself? Where am I not showing up? What am I clinging to? What am I attached to? Who am I chasing that I shouldn't be chasing? Because the moment I started chasing someone else, I stopped chasing me. You got lost. You're simple. It's so easy. You're love. And anything that's not connected to love, anything that takes you out of alignment with love has to go immediately. I don't give a damn how much you think you love this person. Anything that takes you out of alignment with what you are has to go immediately. Anything. I don't care what label it carries. I don't care what title it carries. I don't care how long it's been in your life. If it's causing you to question yourself, if it's causing you to not love yourself, if it's causing you to spiral out of control and not be connected to the divine in you, it has to go now. That's your only job. Your only job is to master this moment. You don't have any other job. No, take the babies out of it. The kids don't have anything to do with this. You don't have any other job. See, if you take care of this moment, the future will take care of itself. That's your only job. That's the only thing that God wants you to do. If you take care of this moment, the future will take care of itself. That's where we fail. You don't take care of the moment. So how can the future take care of itself when you don't master the moment? Because you're too busy allowing things in the moment that don't add value to you. Things in the moment that's disrespecting you. Things that are in your moment that are abusing you. Things that are in your moment that are hurting you. Things that are in your moment that don't place value on you. We're not going to live in the truth anymore. We don't care about the truth. We don't care about the truth. I'm just asking, do we not care about the truth here? Your only job, you got one job, man. Take care of this moment. When you master the moment, the future takes care of itself. It's the only thing you got to do. What's in your moment right now that no longer serves you? What's in your moment right now that's taking you out of alignment with the divine in you? What's in your moment right now that doesn't love you the way that you deserve to be loved? What's in your moment right now that has you questioning yourself? What's in your moment right now that has you turning down the volume on your voice? What's in your moment right now that has you showing up small? That's what's important. And then once we get rid of all of those things, right, happiness's presence isn't being blocked. Love's presence isn't being blocked. Joy's presence isn't being blocked, because there's only two things that blocks happiness's presence in your life. You either have something that you don't want, or you want something that you don't have. Anytime those two things show up, you're in trouble. There's only two things that will destroy happiness's presence in your life. You either want something that you don't have, or you have something that you don't want. Happiness cannot be there when you're operating from that state of being. Stop focusing on what you don't have and focus on what you do have and build from there, or happiness will never be where you are. All right. So real quick, you guys, my name is Jordan Williams. I'm a certified life coach. In case you guys don't know, I specialize in self-awareness and self-mastery. That's good if you're happy right now. That's a beautiful thing. If you have adult children that are creating that blockage, the blockage with respect to Mimi, are you talking about the blockage with respect to the relationship you have with yourself, like they're impacting you in such a negative way that is changing the relationship you have with yourself? Absolutely, absolutely, Grace. Yeah. Again, it's. I tell people this all the time. We give people a world-class education into who we are based upon what we accept or tolerate. I said world-class. And what's so important about that is that anytime that, and I'm gonna just take the kids out of it, I'm just gonna say this is a blanket statement I'm gonna make. Anytime that a person is disrespecting you, it's because they no longer place value on you. It's because your words no longer have impact in their life. When a person disrespects you specifically, it's because they no longer place value on you. They no longer value that connection or that relationship, or they wouldn't be disrespecting you. And I think that oftentimes what will happen, especially when it comes to kids, oftentimes what will happen is we let this slide, we let that slide, and we let this slide, and we let that slide. And before you know it, a whole new program gets developed, right? And that's what's important. Let me say it this way. Too much access to anything breeds boredom. Boredom leads to disrespect. So because that person has so much access to you and has had so much access to you, they have gotten desensitized to you. See, we only place value on things that we have limited access to. Just think about it. Rare paintings and beautiful exotic vacations and, this luxury thing and that thing over there. We place value on things that we have limited access to. And because your kids have so much access to you, they are desensitized to you the same way that you are desensitized to your favorite purse in your closet, the same way that you are desensitized to your clothes, the same way you are desensitized to the furniture, even though in the beginning you were so excited about those things. Where'd all of that go? It's because you have too much access. I tell people this all the time. I feel the number one way that people get disrespected in life is because you give people too much access to you. The moment you cut access off, value increases. The moment you cut access off, value increases exponentially. But if you're trying to fix the situation or fix the problem, right, and they still have access to you, it'll never work that way. It'll never work that way. Every single person in my family places 5-star value on me. Not because I'm Johnny special, but because they rarely get to see me. They don't get to have all of that access to me. I cut all of that off, right? Because I'm always busy. I'm always traveling. I'm always doing this. I'm always doing that. So when they see me, it's like, right? That's what I'm saying. And so when it comes to your kids, they have so much access to you that they are completely desensitized to you. I'm telling you right now. It's not that you were not a good mother. It's not that you weren't a great provider. It's not that you didn't give them everything that they needed. It has nothing to do with that. Think about what I'm saying. When your kids were little, I know you said that they're adults. When they were little, you would buy them video games. And your kids would take that video game, go in the room, master that video game within a week. And before you know it, they're coming back and telling you, Mom, I need a new video game. You're like, I just bought you the video game. They've already mastered the video game. They're bored with it. Or certain toys that you would buy them, that they would do everything they needed to do to get that toy from you. And you would get them the toy. And when you would get them that toy, once they mastered the toy had no more value. And the only way that toy would have value again is if some brand new kid came over to the house and found interest in the toy. All of a sudden, give me back my toy. But before that, you didn't even want to play with the toy. So just look at it through that filter. So there's nothing wrong with you. You didn't do anything wrong. Everything is fine with you. You just have to understand how people think. When you give people too much access to anything, it breeds boredom, which is why I think that so many relationships fall apart, because people have too much access to each other. How can I place value on anything that I always have access to? Look at your TV. If you can only watch TV, if your TV was only in your house once a year, you would create a whole event around the day that your TV was coming. You'd have popcorn and snacks and all of these things. But because your TV is always there, it doesn't represent that same level of value in your life. I'm going to give you another great example. My home got a swimming pool in the backyard. Guess how often I swim? Never. I don't swim in the pool. Why? Because I have too much access. But if I didn't have that pool, I promise you, the first thing I would do, I wish I had a swimming pool. I wish I had a swimming pool. I wish I had a swimming pool. Well, now you got the swimming pool. You don't ever swim in the swimming pool. Because again, it's too much access to it. When we have too much access to things, it breeds boredom, and boredom leads to disrespect. Not because that person doesn't love you, it's because that's how the human mind works. They will begin to disrespect the things that they have too much access to. They did it with their toys, they did it with their video games, and they will do it to you as well. How do I get my value back up? Limit the access that people have to you. And your value skyrockets. The same way the Mona Lisa is worth $300-something million. Why? Because you don't get to see it. The same way that the Cullinan diamond is worth $35 million. Why? Because you don't get to see it. But if you got to see it every single day, it wouldn't place that value. It's like going to Disneyland. You can go to Disneyland one time a year, and it's going to be the most amazing thing. But if I take you to Disneyland every day, you'll be bored with Disneyland. Living the truth. If I take you to Disneyland every single day, it wouldn't represent the value. But if you only got to go once a year, it'd be the most amazing place in the world. That's what I'm saying. Does that make sense? The only way that married people can prevent that boredom is only one way, and I coach people on this all the time. The only way that married people can prevent that boredom is to grow. There's only one way. Especially if you're in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, your number one focus has to be to grow. Why? Because every time I learn something new, I become someone new. I become someone new for my partner. But if I keep waking up being the same person, I get the same routines, I get the same habits, I get dressed the same, I go to work the same, my partner has already figured out my routine. Now, my partner may stay in the relationship, but that doesn't mean that they're excited about the relationship. What I need you to understand is that when you grow every single day, growth is the only thing that counters hedonic adaptation. Growth is the only thing that counters boredom. When I'm growing every single day, I don't give my partner an opportunity to get bored because they're bored with who I was yesterday. They're not bored with who I am today because who I am today is somebody totally different. I'm a different version of me. And then not only that, when you're in the relationship, not only am I a different version of me, I'm going to teach my partner what it is that I learned. We're going to sit down and have coffee, have tea, turn the TV off, turn the radio off, turn the R&B off, and sit there and talk to your partner about the growth that you had that day. So that way they are seeing you like, damn, all my partner do is grow. People fall in love with people that grow. People fall in love with people that consistently evolve and transform. But if you keep waking up being the same person every day, I can promise you this, your partner is bored to death in the relationship. They may not say anything to you, but if they could just really tell somebody, they would tell them that my relationship is not exciting. And the reason why it's not exciting, because if you don't understand hedonic adaptation, you'll never understand that. People get bored with people quickly. You got a quantum computer sitting here. The moment that it figures out this person and it figures out your routines and it figures out your patterns and it figures out, how you do what it is that you do, it already knows your stories and heard that a million times. It already knows your pain. It's been heard that a million times. It already knows your childhood trauma. It's bored, man. You got to keep growing every single day. That's if you're going to be in a relationship. Now, if you don't want to be in a relationship, you just want to wake up and just be who you were yesterday, wonderful. But if you're going to be in a relationship, you have to understand that hedonic adaptation is also in that relationship with you. And the moment that your partner has heard all the stories and heard all the trauma and heard all of the childhood stories about what you did and what you didn't do, they're bored. And boredom leads to complacency, which leads to disrespect. I'm telling you. And before you know it, you have to start saying things twice. See, asking twice is begging. Because they heard you when you said it the first time. So the moment that you have any type of relationship, that's how let me tell you right here. The number one way that you know that your partner has no more respect for you, or your kids have no more respect for you, is when you have to say things twice. That's the number one indicator that respect has been lost in the relationship. If you have to say it twice, I place no value on what you say. I don't give a damn who you talking to. If you got to say it twice, I place, especially when I heard it the first time. If you got to say it twice, your words have lost all power. Asking twice is begging. because they heard you when you said it the first time. So the moment that I have to say it twice, no respect. Zero respect for your words. Your words have lost all power in my mind. And here's what's crazy. They used to have value. Your words used to have value. Where'd the value go? There was a time when you could whisper what you needed to say and your partner would do, or your kids would do whatever you needed. Where did the value go? Access destroyed the value. Access lead to complacency. Complacency lead to disrespect. You got to know how you work. And once you understand how you work, then you'll understand how all of the relationships that you jump in and out of are operating, whether that's a relationship with your kids or that's a relationship with your significant other. People get bored when they have too much access to you, period. I think that hedonic adaptation is the number one reason why people cheat, because people are already bored with the experience called you. Now they got a brand new experience. Somebody's dangling in front of them that they've never had before. I don't have any scientific proof on that, but I just feel that that's what it is. All right. So let me get through this one more time. So for all of you guys that's on the live with me that is really looking to take your life to the next level, I've created a community with my partners called Mindset Masters. And Mindset Masters is just that. It's where we teach you how to master your mindset. But what we really teach you is self-awareness. There's not enough weight on that. Let's just start with that. When I said that, I didn't put enough weight on that. That in and of itself will transform your entire life. It doesn't matter what else you learn. If there is somebody that has developed a system, has developed a way where they can teach you self-awareness, it's game over, because we think that we are self-aware because we know our bloodline and we know our history, we know our name and we know our birth date and we know our wounds. None of that has anything to do with self-awareness. None of it. Self-awareness is deeper than every single ocean on this planet combined. You will never get to the bottom of self-awareness, because what's at the bottom of self-awareness is God. And the universe is transforming at 2 million miles per second. It is evolving at 2 million miles per second, which means that you will always be in a constant state of growth and evolution and transformation. And that's how the universe works. So when you start to understand that life is really a single player game, you've been playing it at a multiplayer level. That's why most people are losing the game called life, because you're too busy living it at a multiplayer level, meaning you're focusing on other people's problems, you're focusing on other people's business, you're focused on what's going on over here. You got to focus on you. You are the focus. You focus on you until the focus becomes you. You are the focus. You are the purpose of your own life. There is no purpose outside of you. The purpose is discovering who you are. And then once you discover who you are, you understand that your story, that your purpose in life is connected to your pain. Now you package your story, and then you become an energetic match for every single person that's gone through what you went through leading up to this moment. But again, Mindset Masters is a community that we created because we wanted to create a safe space, right? We wanted to create a safe space where people could grow, they could become masters of themselves, they could become emotionally intelligent, they could become self-aware, they could be in a community with other like-minded individuals, because that's important. Who you are surrounded by when you are on your spiritual awakening journey, I could make the argument, is more important than anything else. Self-awareness is not what you push off on your kids. It's not what you push off on your partner. It's not what you push off on your significant other and your friends. It's about you. God tapped you on the shoulder, and he's allowing you to become spiritually awakened. It has nothing to do with anyone else. This right now, I need you to be greedy with you. Be greedy with your time, be greedy with your energy, be greedy with your attention until you transform yourself into what he wants you to be. And once you become that version of yourself, you will become a magnet. No matter where you go, you'll become the most powerful version of you. Nothing on this planet is more important than who you are becoming. Nothing. So inside of the community, the way that the community is set up, it's set up for your growth and transformation. It's unlike anything that you've ever seen in your life. It literally is set up for your growth and transformation. What does that mean? Every one of my podcasts, like the one that you're watching now, or live streams like the one that you're watching now, is archived inside of the community. There's more live streams in that community than you have time to watch. That's number one. Number two, and then each one of my live streams is literally like a master class. So you're going to have notebooks full of notebooks full of notebooks, just full of powerful information that's helping you with your growth and transformation. My podcast, I've got a podcast inside the community. A lot of people don't know that because it's not something that I market outside. It's only for the people in my community. So you're going to have a podcast. What's the value in that? So you can listen to me when you're at the gym. You can listen to me when you're on a walk or you're on a drive or you're driving across the country or whatever it is you're cleaning your house. You can still be processing and taking in all of that information because you got to understand how much programming and conditioning you have. You have so much programming and conditioning and your ego and your wounds and everything that you've suffered through. So you need that constant pouring into yourself. And then I write several times throughout the day, which is another important thing. I write several times throughout the day. So that's going to also be available to you guys as well. But the community is amazing. Some of my students inside of the community are ridiculously powerful. I mean, they have truly transformed themselves into something that they've exceeded my expectations. Let me just say it like that. And then another thing that's great about the community is you're gonna have an opportunity to shadow box. And shadow box just basically means where you can get in a group inside of the community with people that are a little bit more seasoned than you are with respect to self-awareness, but they were where you once used to be, right? Or where you are right now on your spiritual awakening journey. And so you're able to jump into a shadowboxing group so that way you can meet new people inside of the community, but more importantly, so that you can learn self-awareness at a different pace and at your own timing and all of that. That's important. So the community is set up so that you don't fail. That's how we set it up. Like I promise you, the only way that you don't become the most powerful version of yourself is if you just don't show up. And if that were the case, nobody could have helped you. It doesn't matter what. So you're going to get me as your life coach, as your accountability partner, and as your mentor. Plus, you're going to get 2 other coaches as well. All of this is for $1 a day, literally. And we priced it that way for a reason. So it's $29 a month, no contracts, no obligations. But we priced it so cheap for a reason because we wanted to make sure that every single self-awareness is your birthright. We wanted to make sure that every single person could afford it, whether we're talking about the kid at working at Walmart or the kid going to college or the young lady that may be, working at Starbucks somewhere. We wanted to make sure that everyone would be in a position to gain access to literally the world's most powerful information. And you will understand that when you step inside of this community. You won't find more powerful information anywhere on social media than what you're going to find in this community. That's a diamond hard fact. Aside from that, I think in a nutshell, that's pretty much it. And like I said, again, if you guys are ready to sign up and become the most powerful version of yourself, just type me in the comments and let me see how many me's I got. And then we can get you guys started to becoming everything that God created you to be. Somebody said, what if you were too self-aware? That scares me when people say that. That terrifies me when people say, what if you were too self-aware? That terrifies me, I think, almost more than anything else. That part right there, it terrifies me. When people say that what if you're too self-aware, it makes me think that they're not self-aware at all. Because a self-aware person would never say that. The self-aware person would never say that. Would never say that. That's like saying to me, what if you love yourself too much? How? So this is what you guys do. You guys can if you step outside of the live, 2 ways you can do it. Step outside of the live, you guys, and you can go to my profile page and you're going to see join now and just click that link that says join now. And then you guys can get signed up there. So again, step outside of the live, go to my profile page, click where it says join now. Right underneath my picture, you'll see join now, and then you can click that link. It'll take you, it's only gonna take you 60 seconds to get signed up, and then you guys will be ready to go. It's $1 a day, literally $1 a day. It's $29 a month. I'm cheaper than your cell phone bill. I'm cheaper than your water bill. I'm cheaper than every bill, but I will add more value than anything in your life. That part you can challenge me on. No, the lives are live. You mean, are the lives in the community pre-recorded? The lives in the community are only all of my lives that so when I shoot lives like this, we then place them inside of the community so that way people can, because then you get to pause, you get to rewind, you get to take notes, you get to come back, you get to do all of these things. But when I'm live right now, you don't have time to do any of that. You don't have time to take notes because I'm going 100 miles an hour. And that's another thing too, you guys. If you guys get signed up inside of the community, you're going to receive a free copy of the book today. I forgot to mention that. Again, if you guys get signed up inside of the community today, you're going to receive a free copy of this book because you need the book. Yeah, the book is something. The book is Mando. Like, you need the book. He said you cooking and tapping, huh? Cooking and tapping. Yeah, give me a piece of that chicken you got over there. But yeah, so you guys, so you can the book is a game changer. Like, but you need the book. That's why we give the book away when you guys sign up, because yeah, the book's available on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon as well. Yep, you can get it on Amazon as well. The Secret of Awareness: How Powerful Are You Ready to Be? That might be the hard copy. That's the soft copy isn't $40. The book should have been way. You don't even want to know how much I was going to charge for that book when I first came and brought it out. I promise you don't want to know. I promise you don't want to know. I didn't want to give the book away to people. I'm going to be honest with you. Somebody said something about a narcissist. Somebody pinned that for me. What was that, narcissist? Somebody said something about a narcissist. Uh-oh. One of my favorite things. You said, what about dealing with the narcissist? What about dealing with the narcissist? Let me see. So unbothered. So unbothered. I love your question. Thank you for asking. What if I were to tell you, and what I'm getting ready to say is going to bump up against your programming and conditioning, so I respect how you may respond or react to what I'm saying. But in awareness, there's no such thing as a narcissist. And again, there's only two things in this world. I know I'm bumping up against your programming and condition now, but just follow me here. I'll work with me here. Okay, Bonnie, I'll talk to you. I'll see you soon. Thank you. What you have to understand is that you have people that are spiritually awakened and you have people that are not. That's it. There's only those two categories. Everything under the category of people that are not spiritually awakened are just a bunch of labels that people attach to the behavior that certain people have. The narcissist is someone who has suffered some great deal of pain and trauma, and they have all of these unhealed wounds in them. And what that person is doing is they're projecting all of that onto you, right? And so, again, you have people that are spiritually awakened and you have people that are not. What you're really telling me right now is that when you say that narcissist, what I'm hearing right now is that you're dealing with someone that lacks self-awareness, period. And so, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Why? Because the person that lacks self-awareness cannot be held accountable for whatever their actions are, because what's happening in that moment is they're asleep. They know not what they do. What I can tell you is this: there's no self-awareness, there's no emotional intelligence, there's no self-mastery there, which makes them a liability not only to themselves, but to you, to me, and to anyone else. What I question is, if someone is in a relationship with a narcissist, that can only lead me to believe that they are also not spiritually awakened as of yet, and they lack self-awareness and emotional intelligence, and they are not masters of themselves. Again, that's not blaming anyone. There's no one to blame, right? And so when you start studying self-awareness and when you become the fully awakened version of yourself, and I'm not talking about you, I'm generalizing, you'll understand that that person is dealing with so much trauma, so much pain, so many unhealed wounds. They don't know what to do with that, which means that now they become the emotion. Now they become their rage. They become their anger. They become their wounds. And that person is the most unpredictable person on the planet because anything can trigger that. They can be triggered like that. And then they will project that onto you. That's all I'm saying. So once you start understanding self-awareness, you'll understand that there's only two things: people that are spiritually awakened and people that are not. And the most dangerous thing in the world is for you to jump in a relationship with someone that is not spiritually awakened, because anything can happen in that moment. Anything can happen to you because they're not healed. Right? They're not healed. And when that person is not healed, they're going to project their pain onto you. They're going to project their suffering onto you. They're only going to see you through the filter of their trauma and their wounds. And there may be moments when they're not reminding themselves about their pain, and they're not reminding themselves about their suffering. And there may be moments of bliss and joy and happiness and all of that. But the majority of the time, that person is projecting, because that's what we do. When we lack self-awareness, that's what we do. We project our unhealed wounds onto other people that did not cut us. Yep, it's called The Secret of Awareness. Here you go. Take a screenshot of it. Take a screenshot of it. The Secret of Awareness. How powerful are you ready to be? Kia says, should we leave the narcissist or try to help them become self-aware? That's the problem, Kia. The problem is that you can't help them to become self-aware. There's nothing that you could do. And trust me, when I first became self-aware, when I first stepped, let me tell you the beautiful thing about self-awareness. You're going to want to give it away like candy. When you first become self-aware, you're going to want to give it away like candy. You're going to be, oh, look what I learned. Look at this, look at that. You're going to be talking to your friends and talking to your family and talking to all of these people in your inner circle. And guess what's going to happen? They're not going to take to it like you did. And the reason why they're not going to take to it like you did is because God chose you to become self-aware. You took the liberty of trying to go and push it onto people that he didn't want, that he wasn't ready for them to wake up yet. So what's important for you to understand is that if that person is a narcissist and you're on the journey of becoming the most powerful version of yourself, there's nothing you can do for them. Now, it's different. Now, I will tell you this. You can transform yourself and start the process of becoming the most powerful version of yourself, and you can inspire them. Meaning that person walks up to you and like, oh, what you studying? Or they see your growth, or they see your transformation, and they're so inspired by who you are becoming that you ignited something in them. That can happen. But you pushing it on them, or you trying to get them, because see, what you're really doing, let me tell you what you're doing. What you're really doing is you're trying to change. You're trying to take the cake out of the oven at 35 minutes when the instructions on the side of the box said 45 minutes. Right? You're trying to take the cake out of the oven, meaning that God's not finished with them yet. Maybe there's something that they still have to do, something that they still have to go through. And you might go over there and start projecting the self-awareness onto the person when it wasn't time for them to get it. And that will ruin their entire experience of it. Because now they're going to move through the future thinking to themselves, yeah, my girl used to talk to me about self-awareness and all of this. Yeah, I already know. Yeah, I know what it is. And they don't know what it is. And it'll ruin that. So the only thing that I would tell you to do is focus on you. Focus on who you are becoming. Do not allow that person that may be that narcissist or may be that low vibrational frequency person, which is all the narcissist is. They're just somebody that's operating at a lower vibrational frequency than you are. And they're projecting that onto you. But don't let that person block your blessing. Because if you're in an environment where that person has access to you, you got to understand convergence. You got to understand convergence. People's energy, it's quantum entanglement. People's energy can become connected to your energy. And now all of a sudden it lowers your vibrational frequency as well. Hang out with people that are not motivated and watch how your motivation goes away. That's what quantum entanglement is. You got to understand that every time you encounter someone new, your energy aligns with their energy. And if their energy is of that narcissist, or somebody that doesn't have a lot of belief in themselves, or somebody that doesn't love themselves, or somebody doesn't have a drive to become something better, they don't want to build, they don't want to grow, they don't want to do that, their energy can negatively impact your energy. Be careful with that. Don't label the person. Just understand that they just are somebody that's low, that's operating from a lower vibrational frequency than you are. That's all it is. Nothing wrong with the person. They're not broken. They're just operating at a different frequency. That doesn't mean that tomorrow that the match can't be lit and that person transforms into everything that they need to be. But today they're not that person.